Hello, Serge here from the backyard driving range. Alright, we have a, I guess, in your own words statement that also has a question in with it, I think. And this comes from Samuel Vasquez. And Samuel says, Serge, I just watched your video on the proper amount of turn. I have been struggling with your swing after watching your video. I realized I was not turning like you mentioned in the video. In fact, I probably wasn't turning at all. As soon as I started turning in the backswing, all other parts of the swing started to come together. Hello. Remember what we call the swing. It's a 3/4 limited turn swing. All right, so there has to be some turn. So let's see what else Sam has to say. Before I ask you my question, let me preface by saying that the way I understood your instruction, I should be athletically ready, correct. Outward pressure on the knees, correct. Feet flared out, correct. Take my club to the catcher's mitt, correct. Swing up the tree and at the same time turn, correct. So you were correct in all of those matters. The turning was the issue. The turning part was the issue. I could not make the proper turn without having my left knee move out. If I am facing the ball, the left knee juts out parallel with the ball. All right, so this is what I think Sam is saying. If my ball is over here, I have a 7-iron. I think he's saying his left knee is kind of going that way. All right? I'm not going to make any statement about that yet, okay? I could not make the proper turn without having my left knee moving out. If I am facing the ball, the left knee juts out parallel with the ball. It does not move a lot, but enough to let me turn. Now that statement I like. I got a little bit of problem with the knee going that way. I'm going to discuss that in a minute. But I do like that statement. I think that's a tremendously good statement. It does not move a lot, but enough to let me turn. I noticed in your instructions and videos, but you have never mentioned it. So am I wrong in my assumption about the left knee? Because I know you want us to keep our lower body still, but if I can't move the knee, I can't make the proper turn. The swing becomes stiff and robotic. I hope this will help others who are having turning problems. A PPGS swinger forever, signed Stam. Okay, I think you're right in that the knee has to move a little bit. So let me clarify what is written in all the manuals, and it's talked about in all the videos and all the dailies. The backswing, the peak performance golf swing is a little bit of turn and a lot of lift. Posture is athletically ready, wide knees, outward pressure. We don't push them wide to a point where they start to curl the over to the ankles and the insides of the soles come up. Okay, it's still dead flat. All right. Now a little bit of turn, a lot of lift. What do I say? Outward pressure is again just enough out to put stretch into the inside of your thighs. All right, and then I say from there, and this is what I've said 1,000. 10,000, 100,000 times, and I've written on probably minimum of half to 3/4 of all my instruction sheets when I do the prescription and the diagnosis and prescription. When I have somebody, and I still see it a lot, special K. And I mean, even it's getting less at golf schools and lessons, but they're still showing up that people think they're not moving their left knee very much, and they're still like this. And so the big question is, and I've done a test, if you stand here and get in wide knees, outward pressure, and just try to start moving your knee slowly but carefully. How far can you move it before you feel the knee starting to pull your left hip? Not very far. Most people, it's about 1 inch. So anything past 1 inch, the connection of the knee to the hip will eventually, knee moves enough, it'll start pulling the hip down. If this side starts going down, this one's like going back and up, okay? So because every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So what I state is that when you get your wide knees out with pressure, when I talk about the takeaway in the backswing, I say, get your wide knees out pressure. I say, I want you to hold or resist the left knee. I don't say you must maintain it. I do not say it doesn't move. Resist the left knee moving. A little bit of movement is okay. Now, the key is, what is the movement? Normally, the movement I want to see is that the left knee will come in a little bit, because if I'm thinking about my body as boxes, ankles to knees are one box, knees to hips another box, and hips to shoulders another box. And naturally, the bottom box, the top of the bottom box is the bottom of the middle box, and the top of the middle box is the bottom of the upper box, the upper body box. So they're somewhat The one in the middle is touching both boxes. So conversely, we want everything to kind of turn the little turn we want everything to turn a little bit. So this kneecap, as I can say, can rotate a little to the right, but never go far enough to break. This one can rotate a little to the left, but never allow any breaking. And in most cases, that's going to be no more than about an inch. So I always write, in the backswing, resist slash hold slash resist the left knee moving. I don't say it has to stay dead still, but I think it's more opportune to go this way than that way. Now, if you were going forward and in a little bit, that might not be too bad, but the caution here is if you go a little too far forward and you end up with a reverse tilt, which will be like, sometimes I'll call the end of backswing reverse tilt, the EBRT, end of backswing reverse tilt. You start tilting, you're ahead of the ball, you stay there, you're going to have extreme steep angle of attack. Very likely starting to hit some very deep divots, and the ball can go anywhere. Or you're going to start trying to come back to it, and then that opens up everything when you're starting to fall back, swing back, opens up the right, bouncing off the ground, topping them, thinning them, as well as chunking them. Okay? So again, I would venture to say, Sam, that if you're hitting the ball better, if you are going that little bit of parallel, it's probably parallel with a little bit coming in, but you don't really feel it coming in as much as you feel that. But if you're turning well and your head staying still, put the sun behind your back and check it out. Take your camera out and videotape it. Your phone, because most phones they can videotape. And just if you're staying still, if it's not going down and forward, then you're okay. But if you're starting to go down and forward, I'd caution you about that. And you might want to see that maybe if you put a golf club on your knees, instead of the knee going this way, out that way, that it's going to turn a little bit inside. You see how this is turning a little in there? And they're both turning a little, and then they come back together. We want them equally moving together. The whole square should move together. So good points, good observations, good using your mind, thinking about things, getting your brain to feel what's going on, and when figuring out what's going on, you felt you weren't making a turn, and you found a way to allow you a little turn. I like the point where you said a little turn. All right? So it's outward pressure, we resist. It's got to go a little, but we resist. We don't want a lot of movement, and we don't want fast, jerky movement, because that's like throwing a rock in a lake. It makes a bigger wave. And if we move too much here, the wave is from here all the way up to eventually getting to the hands and club out there, and everything up here is starting to wave to the crowd, and that's no good. So good thoughts, good points, and great using your mind to monitor your body. All right, but let's clarify this up. We resist the left knee. It moves a little, but we resist it, and that little is no more than about an inch. Okay? Well, that's it for the search for today on clarifying this left knee movement, forward knee movement. It would be the right knee for lefty, and how much and how it works optimally to allow just a little bit of turn, so we have that limited turn, 3/4 backswing, so we can hit the ball more solid, straight, and long, and making that peak performance golf swing to shoot those lower scores. That's it for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.